Folks, Why Would You Ask That is a podcast that answers some of the weirdest questions. A lot of those are inappropriate for some listeners. If you're squeamish, easily disturbed, or just having a bad day, this may not be for you. But if you've got to know the answers like we do, stay tuned.
Why Would You Ask That? Presented by me, they, them, and
Karen, she, her, and
Remy, he, they.
And today we got with you, for you, we got for you. Very chill little meeting here about Christmas traditions. Last week we hit up everything that was outside of Christmas. Well, not everything, but we hit up a bunch of stuff that wasn't in the whole Christmas deal. But this week we're doing the whole Christmas deal because that's how we live our lives, I guess. That's what we know. And we're all pretty low energy today, so
we can explain that.
Listen to us at bedtime, I'm not going to be screaming as much.
Yeah. Until you hear about Christmas pickle!
The fucking Christmas pickles, man.
So, either settle into your bed or light up that joint, because
I was going to say, heat up some goddamn cocoa, you asshole.
I mean, I hope that our listeners are having a good time, whether drinking cocoa or smoking up, but whatever floats your boat, you know. Pop an edible. I don't know.
Do they put? Can you smoke cinnamon? I don't know that you can smoke cinnamon, but if you can, put it in a joint.
Make it Christmas flavored.
I don't know how cinnamon came to be Christmas flavored, but that's how it'd be.
That's for next year.
You should not smoke cinnamon. Nobody do that.
Don't do that. Don't listen to M. They don't know what they're talking about.
Vape a bit of cinnamon. They got cinnamon flavors out there. They got bubblegum or root beer and shit. I'm sure they got some fucking cinnamons.
Oh,
like a Cinnabon flavor, Cinnabon X Jewel or whatever.
100%.
Still operating, or did they go under with the kid-friendly advertising?
I think they're still in operation. They just took a major hit.
I just really don't want people to hurt themselves trying to inhale cinnamon.
Yeah, please don't.
Considering the fact that inhaling cinnamon is the point of the cinnamon challenge, and that will take you to the hospital.
Yep.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Now I do want people to be aware that I have researched some really ridiculous ways to get yourself high, and that does include things that you can find in the pantry that's like in your own house right now. But don't try to inhale cinnamon. There's different ways you can get high with cinnamon, but I won't tell you because I don't want to be an accessory to that.
Yep. Good call.
But if you want to know how cinnamon is also has psychedelic properties, Google's out there.
Google is out there, and we cannot control your Google history because you can't control mine, no matter how much you want to. I've got the energy today. It is with me.
It's in there. Now me, Remy, I'm low energy because I just got over a sinus infection and I'm on the tail end of it.
Yep.
I just sneezed a lot today.
Yeah, M has been.
Hurts.
Well, we are preparing for, switching houses, and that just means moving things around, and when you move things around, it gets hella dusty.
Yeah, and I'm like, when you go to an old person's house and every surface is covered with, little knickknacks?
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah. But with cool knickknacks, like Bakugo.
My Bakugo shrine has already been packed up.
Oh!
That's one of the first things I packed, because I had a perfect size box.
It's Bakugo sized.
Think one day when your kids are adults, when my kids are adults, and they have grandchildren, and the grandchildren come over, and we're all old. And they look at your Bakugo stuff and they're like, look at this old person house with all the knickknacks.
Yeah,
all the Funko Pops.
listen, my grandfather used to have like all the fucking, what's it called, Star Wars figures. So
Yeah, Karen, you said all the Funko Pops? Yeah,
Mm.
somebody's grandma's house is going to have so many Funko Pops.
Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh my god. And and of course they're still in operation, so they give you Funko Pops for Christmas or your birthday. And you're like, oh my god, what am I even gonna do with this? Where am I even gonna put it?
Grandma, I found you this antique Walking Dead Funko Pop from the antique store by my house.
Not the Walking Dead.
Back when zombies were all the rage, before they were a reality.
I read the zombie story again. Wait a minute! It took me a minute to get that! Oh my god.
He's right, though.
He is.
Honey P.
Oh shit, that's funny. Oh, fucking got me. Oh.
Now that I've boosted everybody's energy with my really hilarious joke.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. Would laugh again.
Mm-hmm.
Not immediately after, maybe. I don't know.
We can talk about Christmas now. Okay. Please forgive me, listeners, that my voice is weird.
Or if you have anything to say, listeners, no! We're not listening to you. You're listening to us right now. Yeah. Thanks, Remy.
Okay. So we're talking about Christmas. When this episode comes out, it's going to be Christmas. So,
What?
enjoy. Merry Christmas. Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas, wherever you are. Merry Christmas if you're here with us.
So we're going to talk about Christmas. We're going to talk about the origins of Christmas. And we're going to talk about the symbology and how people are celebrating it.
All right.
Our modern Christmas is a product of several hundreds of years of secular and religious traditions from around the globe, and many of them are centered on the winter solstice. The middle of winter has been a time of celebration, as we talked about last week, for a lot of people. Centuries before the arrival of Jesus, if you believe in Jesus, early Europeans celebrated light and birth in the darkest days of winter.
Jesus.
What, Karen?
Jesus did exist as a human being. He was a real person.
As a
but he did. He
figure,
wasn't.
I mean,
yeah, but he wasn't born this time of year. Let's all be clear about that.
Centuries before the arrival of Jesus the man.
Jesus
Earlier,
the guy.
Jesus the guy. Early Europeans celebrated light and birth in the darkest days of winter. Many people rejoiced during the winter solstice when the worst of the winter was behind them and they could look forward to longer days and extended hours of sunlight. In the early years of Christianity, Easter was the main holiday, as you would think that it would be.
Mm-hmm.
The birth of Jesus was not celebrated at all, because there is not one recorded anywhere.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it's in there. The story of him being born is in there. A date is not recorded anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So in the 4th century, church officials decided that they were going to institute a birthday for Jesus.
They just picked one at random. They're like, it's this day.
Yeah.
You gotta take over the pagan holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So some evidence by, like, Bible scholars, people who study the Bible for a whole job, those guys say that probably a definitive day that Jesus would have been born was probably sometime in the spring, because shepherds were herding at that time and they wouldn't have been doing that in the middle of winter.
Mm-hmm. But
Pope Julius I decided that December 25th was going to be the day that they were going to be celebrating Jesus's birthday, because, and it's again, biblical scholars say that it's probably because they were trying to absorb the traditions of Saturnalia from the Romans and all the other various pagan traditions that happened right there around that time of the year.
Right.
So in the beginning, they called it the Feast of the Nativity, and then custom spread it about to Egypt by 432 and to England by the end of the 6th century.
All the way to England. Ye old Christmas time.
So by holding Christmas at the same time as the traditional winter solstice festivals, church leaders increased the chances that Christmas would be popularly embraced, but gave up the ability to dictate how it was celebrated because there was already celebrations happening. And we actually, when we talked last week, we talked about the Norse saga of the King Haakon, who was Christian, but he like recognized that he couldn't tell all of his pagan followers that they had to stop doing the things they were doing in December. So he was just like, as long as you're celebrating something. So
That's what matters,
everybody,
kids.
yeah, everybody continued to drink a shit ton of alcohol and do giant feasts and everything, but it wasn't for Jesus.
No.
But then over the course of his rule, it shifted away from being about Yule, and it eventually was Christmas.
Simply having wonderful Christmas time.
This is Karen's energy today.
Whoa! Christmas time.
I feel anger in my teeth.
I'm so sorry. I know you hate it, but goddamn, I love that movie.
What movie is it?
It's the Rudolph movie. The Rudolph movie where he's like a teenager.
Which one is this?
It's the one with Whoopi Goldberg as the Ice Queen.
I have no idea.
It's my favorite Christmas movie. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about. tell us about Christmas traditions. Where were we?
I'm curious what you guys do for Christmas. What are your Christmas traditions?
Presents. Used to, I would go to church all the time, but I don't do that anymore.
Anything else?
Oh, I mean, growing up, we used to do this thing. My parents, after we did the children's service at church, we would go and drive around and drink hot cocoa while looking at all the Christmas lights.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it was a good time. There were some really good ones, but it was just nice to kind of be out and about and see the lights.
Good.
Yeah. How about you, Remy?
Well, on Christmas Eve, we used to do a family reunion when we had a lot of family. So a bunch of family would come around. We had family up in Chicago that would come down, and family from other places in Little Rock that would come. And me and my sister and my mom and stepdad would be gathering at my grandparents' house. But over the last several years, lots of family have just died off, as old people tend to do.
Yeah.
And so now that a bunch of them have passed on, it's just me. It's just going to be this year, and it has been for a few years now. Me and my grandma and my grandpa and my husband and my kids. It's been that way now. In 2016, when my mom died, it's just been us, and my sister's there sometimes. But after she turned 18, she's very, very hard to get to come. And so when we do this, it's just like my grandma will make a bunch of food. Even when it's just 4 or 5 of us there, she still makes food like there's going to be 20 of us there.
Wow.
And then she sends it all home with me. And then it's like little sandwiches and things and veggie plates and stuff. And usually the weekend before Christmas, we go to the cemetery where all the family is buried and decorate the graves with wreaths and stuff.
Aww.
We end up we go to 2 different cemeteries. I was supposed to go yesterday and do it, but I was sick.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll go to one cemetery where Mimi's whole bunch is at, dating like all the way back to the beginning of this century. And
Wow.
So it's a bunch of graves, like a bunch. And she'll like fill her trunk up with flowers. And she makes all
Wow.
the arrangements herself.
Aw.
Aw.
Yeah. And then we'll go to the other cemetery where a different part of the family is buried and put stuff on their graves, where and that's the one my mom is at. And so we'll put a bunch of stuff all over those graves. That's where Mimi's, like, I guess her paternal ones and her maternal ones are in different chunks of the cemeteries. So that's like her brother is over there and my mom is over there and some other people are over there. So we go decorate those ones. And then we'll open one present on Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, because you have to.
Yeah, that's the rule.
And then we get up on Christmas Day and open all the rest of the presents after breakfast. I make my children wait. And that's it.
That's good. It's a lot of good traditions. How about you, Em?
If I'm honest, I can't remember what I used to do with my family. But after I moved out, it was just pretty much me and my ex-wife. And we always had like little quiet Christmases. Then we would go hang out with her family for a while and eat, and then go back home. So what I do mostly remember is that when my dad got remarried, stepmom had this thing about a Christmas pickle, and I just became obsessed with the fucking pickle. It was a thing. I saw her put a pickle on. I was like, why the fuck is there a Christmas pickle? She's like, it's the Christmas pickle.
It's the Christmas pickle, Em. You know. And you're like,
no,
I do
I
not
don't know. She's like, oh my gosh. She's all like so excited. I love how excited she gets for Christmas. Like my stepmother goes all out. Like I don't remember Christmas with my mom like at all, but Christmas with my stepmom, fucking awesome. Because like she puts everything into it. I just love it. Uh,
That's so awesome.
Yeah, she goes all out. She decorates. Last year she had 2 Christmas trees up. Like it was great. We had a lot of fun. We don't really like hang out with a huge amount of family anymore, and I personally don't like big gatherings. So,
Mm-hmm.
I like quiet Christmases.
This year will be not that. I'm sorry.
It's okay. This will be the last time we'll be able to see all of our friends. And I've had everybody's Christmas gifts already wrapped. So
There you go.
well, I have to actually wrap them, but everything's ready to go.
Yeah.
That's how I get excited about Christmas. I start buying everybody's Christmas gifts for the next year on December 26th. So.
Yep. Yep. You do. It's great. It's not intimidating at all.
I kept it small this year.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You did not. I know
so
you're
did.
lying.
I
no.
so did. I did not. Okay, on you, I didn't spend more than like $200.
See? You see?
Throughout an entire 365 days for Christmas? Listen, I could spontaneously spend more money on you all at once, but I held back. Also, some of it, all that stationary stuff, yeah.
Yeah. And I always appreciate it.
I like giving people things. It's just what I do.
You're very good at it.
I'm fucking obsessed with it, okay? I can't stop.
It's your love language.
It's the only thing I know how to do. I can't communicate very well, so I'm just like, I'm gonna give you the fucking world, and you're gonna be happy.
You're gonna take it.
Fucking get it.
So those are our Christmas traditions. I didn't think if there's anything I forgot. Oh, leaving cookies out for Santa, cookies and milk. That was my favorite thing. We would, so my mom and dad, yeah, they were really good about giving me that stereotypical childhood, where, you get ready for Christmas. I would give presents out to all of my classmates. Like I'd give them candy and a Christmas card. And then, Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, we had children's service. Usually I was a part of it somehow. because, when you go to church, you're just a part of it.
Force you whether you're part of the church or not.
That's true.
I've been part of so many fucking Christmas services and shit. I swear to God, I was baptized. I didn't know that I was being baptized at the time, but like, I went up north and the fucking Mormons are like, "You want to hang out for Christmas?" And I'm like, "What?" Huh? And next thing I know, I'm helping them with some shit for Christmas.
Yeah. And then, like, after the service, we do our light tour, and then we go home, and my dad, either he's already made the cookies, or we just put in, like, some Oreos or something like that, and we set them on. We had a very special plate that was for Santa, and it, like, was, like ceramic, and it had, like, decorations on it for Santa. It's literally said it. And so we would put our cookies there, get a glass of milk, set it out for him, and then we'd put out, like, some baby carrots for the reindeer. And then
I did that kind of thing.
Yeah. And then went to bed, and then the next morning when I'd wake up, there would be presents everywhere, and the cookies. I always had to check the cookies first. That was the most important part, because the cookies would be gone. And my mom, usually my mom, would always write me a letter from Santa that was like, "You were a good kid this year. Keep it up. You're doing great." Like,
oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, like, I have really good memories for Christmas. So, like, I know it gets a bad rap because everybody ruins it, but I really love Christmas time. I get very nostalgic about my Christmases because they were always great. There was one year where my mom opened a present that she got from my dad, and it was a snow globe. And inside the snow globe, there were 2 cardinals. And I shit you not, like, 2 minutes after she opened it, we heard a thunk on the window.
No!
We went out, and my dad saw this cardinal. It had slammed into the window, and he checked on it, and it was still breathing. So he brought it inside, and we put it in, like, a little cat carrier, and we, like, put some blankets down for it and put some water in there for it. And then, like, maybe a few hours later, he checked on it, and it seemed okay. So he just opened the gate for it to fly out. And when we checked back later, it was gone. Like, I think he saw it leave and fly away. So that was, like, yeah. And it was, like, snowing and everything. It was like the perfect Christmas.
That's so nice.
I think it's only snowed on Christmas here like 3 times in my life.
Yeah, it does not happen often. Anyway.
I used to be a delivery guy, so.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. See, people have ruined Christmas. For me, Christmas was less about the presents and just more about getting together. Because, we grew up on that whole spiel where they're like, Christmas isn't about presents. And,
Christmas isn't about presents, it's about presence.
Yeah, it's about being there. Yeah, it's about being there with your family.
With your family.
Yeah, exactly. So, I was very fortunate to have a really good Christmas upbringing, I guess. Thank you. So where were we?
Talking about history.
Yeah, give us that history of the Christmas times.
So by holding Christmas at the same time as the traditional winter solstice festivals, church leaders increased the chances that Christmas would be popularly embraced, but gave up the ability to dictate how it was celebrated. Then I said the thing about Hawken. Okay, now I haven't caught myself back up.
You got this.
Okay, so by the Middle Ages, Christianity had, for the most part, replaced the pagan religions of old. On Christmas, believers attended church, then celebrated raucously in a drunken carnival atmosphere.
Woo!
Way, sort of similar to how Mardi Gras is.
Show us your Christmas tits.
Yeah. Whoa, Christmas tits.
Give us the boobas.
So each year, a beggar or student would be crowned the, quote, Lord of Misrule, and eager celebrants played the part of his subjects. The poor would go to the houses of the rich and demand their best food and drink, and if owners failed to comply, the visitors would most likely terrorize them with mischief.
Oh, all right.
Trick or treat. After did not fucking give me a fucking glass of wine, I'm gonna fuck his shit up. Eat the rich, bitches. ACAB.
Whew. Yeah.
Early people, Middle Ages and up, until basically the 1950s, everybody did every holiday this way, apparently, is what we're learning.
It just sounds like a proper celebration.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every holiday that we're learning about, we go through the history, and at some point in history, people start acting this way. They're like, here's how we're going to celebrate. Go door to door, ask for something, food or money, and if people won't give it to us, we're gonna just terrorize them until they do it.
We're gonna fuck them up.
We're gonna fucking end you.
Yeah, you're fucking dead, bro.
I mean, that was Thanksgiving, Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
Halloween, so 3 holidays right in a row at the end of the year. This must have been just is this why they called it the Dark Times? The Dark Ages?
The Dark Ages, yeah. Everybody's fucking each other over.
3 months at the end of the year, everybody is just doing this.
Yeah.
Man, Christmas became the time of year when the upper classes could, quote, repay their real or imagined debt to society by entertaining less fortunate citizens, if they were actually going to do it. So in the 17th century, a wave of religious reform changed the way Christmas was celebrated in Europe. Oliver Cromwell and his Puritan forces took over England in 1645 and vowed to rid England of decadence. As part of their effort, they canceled Christmas.
Oh my god. Oliver Cromwell, the Puritans, the first of the cancel culture. It all makes sense now.
They said no fun allowed.
No fun allowed. Oh, wow. This is who the, those Christmas movies are based off of. The ones who are always, saying, no fun. I'm Scrooge McDuck. Christmas. Bah humbug.
No Christmas tits for me? No Christmas tits for you.
Christmas is
Tits.
dead. Oh, man, that's a bummer.
It's a bummer, yes.
Should have known it would be the Puritans, though.
Seen it coming. How it be?
So, when Charles II was restored to the throne, Christmas became a popular holiday again, so it wasn't canceled just for very long.
Good.
Now, over here in the United States, the Pilgrims were more orthodox in their Puritan beliefs than Cromwell was, so as a result, Christmas was not a holiday in the early Americas.
Of course not.
From 1659 to 1681, the celebration of Christmas was outlawed in Boston.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a decent chunk of time.
Yeah.
It's 22 years. My brain is sick. So,
oof. I mean, my brain's always sick.
I've been sick since the day I was born.
That's right.
Most doctors agree.
Doctor's sitting there like, yep.
This one came out wrong.
that boy ain't right. That's how my dad would say it.
So, in Boston, anyone exhibiting the Christmas spirit was fined 5 shillings.
Damn.
Okay. Sure.
Why the fuck not?
That's random. I mean, not random. It's just weird.
How much is that in, poor American money?
I'm looking. Well, 1 shilling equals 12.5 cents.
Yeah, but in those days...
Let's see. Look at Colonial Williamsburg.
I know that place.
Well, Colonial Williamsburg says the difference between then and now is so great that you can't make a comparison.
Wow, okay.
They say, 21st, it says, viewed from the 21st century, life in colonial America was like living on a different planet. Quote.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Economic historians are interested in answering this question, but but it's difficult. Many historians want to know the modern equivalents of such things as the operating budget of a James River plantation in 1723, or the blockade runner profits in 1863, for example, but it's just so hard to calculate, apparently.
Yeah, I can see that. That doesn't help me because I also would like to know those things.
Same here.
We're sitting here as world builders. We're like,
Excusez-moi?
yeah, how much does that cost? And they're like, And we're like, what? What do you mean?
It says, the 18th century monetary system makes no sense in 2002, when this article was written, I guess, which in and of itself is a world difference from where we are in 2022. It says, what are pounds, shillings, and pence? Are they dollars, dimes, and pennies? They aren't.
They aren't. Okay.
In the 1700s, 12 pence equaled a shilling. 20 shillings equaled a pound. Okay, well, we can work with that. So if 20 shillings equaled a pound, then you just divide a pound by 5. So they'd be charged a fifth of a pound.
Fifth of a pound, which is how much?
5
See,
shillings.
this is where it gets complicated. We're like, well, how much did butter cost back then? How much did it take to buy a cow?
3 beans.
That's good. That's a good joke. Okay, I'm ready for more. Sorry.
But they didn't celebrate Christmas, and Christmas spirit was fined 5 shillings, which is a fifth of a pound.
That's dumb, but okay.
Not a ton of money, but also probably a lot of money if you didn't have a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And also, how do you even define Christmas spirit to be able to fine somebody for exhibiting it?
Yeah, really.
If somebody's just too happy, do you give them a fine?
I guess so. Damn. That's a cruel world.
So, by contrast, in Jamestown, Captain John Smith, you know the one.
Ugh, that fucking guy.
That guy. He reported that Christmas was enjoyed by all and passed without incident. So, most places they didn't celebrate it, some places they did. After the American Revolution, English customs fell out of favor, including Christmas. So they didn't celebrate Christmas all over the place after the Revolution because they hated England and didn't want anything to do with England. And then Christmas wasn't declared a federal holiday until June 26th, 1870. So a full 100 years later.
Wow. Dang.
That's why you might remember back in the Hanukkah episode, I said by the 1890s, Christmas had become America's gift-giving holiday. Because it wasn't until the 1870s when Americans were even practicing Christmas really any standardized way at all.
Wow.
And it
I had
wasn't
no
even
idea.
until... Yeah, so it wasn't until then that they began to really embrace Christmas. And then we began to reinvent Christmas. Because really, we had been here in the United States practicing Christmas in such a weird, scattered way this whole time that we didn't even really have traditions. And the traditions that we had carried over from England, so we started reinventing Christmas and changing it from what it began in the first place hundreds of years ago, which was, if you remember, just like a decadent, raucous carnival holiday.
Yeah.
And made it into a family-centered day of peace and nostalgia.
And now Christmas is both.
A little bit. So, in the early 19th century, with all the class conflict and turmoil during that time, unemployment was really high, and there was a lot of, gang rioting going on. Everybody was very disenchanted with life in general. Same.
I feel y'all.
Yeah. In 1828, the New York City Council instituted the city's first police force in response to a Christmas riot. And this catalyzed certain members of the upper class to begin to change the way Christmas was celebrated in America. And then also, a little earlier than that, in 1819, best-selling author Washington Irving, who you will know even if you don't know his name, you'll know him from The Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, that guy.
That guy, the Headless Horseman guy.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote the sketchbook of Geoffrey Crayon, gentleman.
Wait, crayon?
Crayon.
Crayon?
Yes. Like the thing you color with.
The sketchbook?
Yes.
He wrote the sketchbook? Or is it a book titled The Sketchbook of...
It's a
what's his
book.
face? It's a... Okay. I'm having to really wrap my head around this here. The sketchbook of Jeffrey Crayon. Gentleman. Gent, for short. Okay, so Jeffrey Crayon. Crayon.
Let me just give you a picture of the book itself also. I love old books. You know?
Oh, yeah. They're
Very
awesome.
I just I like looking at them. They're just weird.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're weird, and I say that fondly.
Mm-hmm.
For you.
Oh.
That is
Rip.
heinous layout. Awful.
Including the famous Rip Van Winkle. Yeah, what is that picture? I feel like they just picked a random picture, and that actually has nothing to do with the story.
Pictures, like, whatever. They do that, like, fucking Penguin does that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But, like, the layout of this cover is just awful. It looks almost like a meme.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was a meme.
This one is closer to probably what the original one looked like.
Okay. That's so...
Yes.
Oh, man. So the sketchbook of Jeffrey Crayon is actually just an anthology of all of his short stories.
So, yes, Washington Irving, who wrote The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and Rip Van Winkle, wrote he wrote a bunch of stories and shoved them into something called The Sketchbook of Jeffrey Crayon.
Love it.
It's a series of stories about the celebration of Christmas in an English manor house. Now I don't really know. I don't know how some of the stories really fit into the Christmas theme, but okay.
I think that Sleepy Hollow takes place during Christmas.
Does it? Because I know I've read it, but it's been several years. It falls into the time period that I like to study, but it doesn't fall into the country that I like to study. That's the country of which my degree is of English. English literature, meaning British literature, is where my graduate degree is located. So the last time that I read anything by Washington Irving was when I was taking an American literature class several years ago. Does it take place at Christmas time?
I'm checking.
Because if it does, how has it become such a Halloween story? Okay, yes, many think of Sleepy Hollow as a haunting town of Halloween, although among the ghostly spirits it also has as many charming old Christmas traditions as well.
Huh.
Yep.
Well, okay.
I think it's just because it takes place during winter. I'm pretty sure. Like fall
Ghost
and winter.
stories used to be a really important part of the Victorian Christmas time. So, yeah. So the sketches feature a squire who invited the peasants into his home for the holiday, and in contrast to the problems faced in American society, the two groups mingle effortlessly. In Irving's mind, Christmas should be a peaceful, warm-hearted holiday, bringing groups together across lines of wealth or social status. So Irving's fictitious celebrants enjoyed, quote-unquote, ancient customs, including the crowning of a lord of misrule. Irving's book, however, was not based on any holiday celebration he had ever attended. Many historians say that Irving's account actually invented tradition by implying that it described the true customs of the season.
Aw.
So, basically, Washington Irving invented a bunch of things that didn't actually happen at the time at all, and said, this is what people do at Christmas. And then people said, sure. And then they started doing it also.
Yeah. And they're like, actually, that's not a bad idea. I love ham. And
Yeah.
I agreed.
So, some symbology that we have for Christmas. Where do we get all the symbology from? I have some things listed down here I can tell you about. Okay, so, Christmas trees. Evergreen fir trees are just universal winter decorations. Pagans of various stripes displayed the branches as a reminder that spring would come again. Romans placed them around temples to honor Saturn. The first time the evergreen was used as a Christmas tree was either in Estonia or Latvia. Cities in each place say that they are the true home of the first Christmas tree.
Yep. Classic.
In the 16th century, German Christians brought the trees inside their homes as a symbol of everlasting life. And then news spread that Queen Victoria had her German husband, Prince Albert, set up a Christmas tree in their palace. And then the practice just exploded.
Yeah. Everyone loved Victoria. Like, what the hell, y'all?
Was it also her who did the wedding rings popularization?
I don't know. I only know the bad stuff about Victoria. Okay. Wreaths. Making wreaths is a handy way to use your Christmas tree trimmings, which is probably how the custom developed in the 16th century Germany. But the symbolism of wreaths goes way back to ancient Greece and Rome, when victorious athletes wore leafy branches woven into a crown. This symbol of a never ending circle made of evergreens also offered the promise of spring's rebirth to pagans celebrating the winter solstice. Later, as a Christmas symbol, it was adapted into Christian celebrations with the Advent wreath, which is used to count down the weeks until the birth of Jesus.
Yep.
I like the advent calendars better.
Yeah, I like when they have like candy.
They put more stuff in them now, you know?
Oh yeah.
There's beer calendars, there's stamp calendars, there's dice calendars, there's dildo calendars.
We bought one for my dog once.
Aww.
They sold one. They sold them at Walmart last year, so we bought one.
Cute.
Yeah, she loved it. They did not have any for cats, though, so we just bought a package of treats for him, and so he could have a treat also. Okay, Christmas tree lights. 16th century theologian Martin Luther is said to be the first person to put lights on a Christmas tree. I don't know. Probably somebody has done it before him. Legend has it that he was walking through a forest one night and was moved by the stars shining through the trees. And then he got home and he recreated what he saw for his family by putting a tree in their living room and placing candles on it. Very safe.
Mm-hmm.
And now we put fake lights on our tree.
Because fake lights are typically safer. I mean, we can't speak to all of them, but
It's a lot safer than putting lighted candles in your tree, though.
yeah.
Yeah. Like, listen, y'all, it's very easy to burn places down.
It is. It is.
So, stars. Another symbol of light during the holidays is the Christmas star, which, according to Christianity, guided the three wise men to baby Jesus. A lot of people put a star on top of their Christmas tree, or cut out cookies in the shape of a star, or the kids make star-shaped stuff. We put a star on our tree too, but that's because we have a really cool looking one that we bought one
Mhm.
year. With other symbols of light around the solstice, the star represents hope for all mankind during dark times. Initially, didn't have anything to do with Jesus, of course, because stars have been around since the beginning.
Yep.
But the Star of Bethlehem may have been a real scientific thing. Every few hundred years, Jupiter and Saturn appear as one to the naked eye, a quote unquote great conjunction. The last occurred in December of 2020. Some scientists theorize that a planetary conjunction could have been what the three wise men saw as well. Just would have looked like a particularly big, sparkly, bright star. Tinsel. So tinsel has gone out of style, sort of, for some people. Some people still really use a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
But previous versions of tinsel used to contain lead.
Oh, that's not good.
It's not. And even modern versions of tinsel can contain PVC type stuff and other
Ugh.
seriously hazardous things that's really bad for your health and your pet's health if your pet got a hold of it. And you know pets are going to get a hold of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we used to have dogs that would just poop up tinsel all day.
Oof.
Obviously, tinsel stopped being something that was used.
Yeah.
So, European folktale credits the webs of, quote, Christmas spiders, quote, for the tradition of shimmery threads on a Christmas tree. Tinsel started as made of real silver as a symbol of wealth and a lovely way to reflect candles on old-timey German Christmas trees. But silver is expensive, and it tarnishes. And when the tradition came to America, different metals were used. So people used to just put real metal on their tree to simulate what we do with tinsel nowadays.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's much. That's a lot.
Yeah.
It is a lot.
So if you're going to use tinsel nowadays, I wouldn't suggest using tinsel because of what I just said about it having a lot of harmful stuff in it for your pets to consume if you have pets, or for, like, in general, it has a lot of harmful stuff in it. And if you're going to use it, you can buy earth-friendly, biodegradable, sustainably made tinsel. And you know I'm about that. We just got done doing the glitter and sand mafia episode.
Yep.
Snowmen, which I don't think are a symbol of Christmas specifically, but I did want to talk about the first snowman.
Ooh, yay.
The first documented, because we have documentation, the first documented snowman is from 1380.
Holy shit.
That's a long time ago.
Yes.
How did they document it?
Well, you know the guy that drew Calvin and Hobbes?
Uh-huh.
He went there and he drew all of them.
I don't think that's right.
How did you pick that guy?
Because I just read a bunch of the Calvin and Hobbes Snowman comics.
Okay.
Okay. Bless you.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry.
I just feel bad.
Good.
Oh,
I mean,
Jesus Christ.
let me get you a picture of the first snowman.
I'm waiting for Ribby to start talking again, and then you're gonna sneeze again.
Me too. I'm waiting. I've got one locked and loaded.
Oh my god, this snowman is so stupid.
Oh boy. Done.
Oh,
What?
cute! Is he peeing?
Why he got boobies? Why does his
Sad.
hand look like that? How do we know it's made of snow and not? I don't
It says
know.
that it's made of snow. It says
It says that I made a man today. A man of snow. I hate being a monk.
it's labeled on the parent page where it's found. It's labeled. It's labeled as what it is. So that's how they know that that's what it is. What?
Oof.
It's just wow. Terrible.
This is awful. Remy is so offended.
I have one of the whole page here. Here's the whole page.
Okay, let me see if I can read this. God hence hats. What dat? Ich, ooh, good, great.
No.
Once.
What's that pussy do?
Okay, so in the word that looks like God, though, and that little D that's all curled over, that would be pronounced like a like a TH.
Goth.
Yeah.
Goth have hats.
So saith the Lord. Oh, man.
Yeah, why
This
is the snowman peeing?
That's what I was asking, brah. Like,
I
why?
wish I knew. I wish I could tell you. I got some other weird pictures of snowmen, too, if you want.
Yeah, hit me.
Here's one. Here's a snowman that was drawn by Hans Christian Andersen. And, man, we gotta do a whole episode about Andersen, because he's weird.
This is why he's a writer.
That is the most threatening snowman I have ever seen in my life.
Why has he got the face of a jack-o'-lantern? Why are his arms like he's like holding himself like he's cold? I guess it makes sense.
Snowman.
It makes sense.
So this is from The Tale, The Snowman, by Hans Christian Andersen, about a snowman who falls in love with a stove.
Oh my god, that's so sad.
It's published in 1861, and the image portrays a scene where the snowman's friend, that dog, tells him to be careful about the danger that the stove gives to him.
Uh-huh. He didn't listen because he was in love with the stove and then he melted?
Probably.
Oh.
It's probably... I got a giant book of stories from Andersen out there, and it's probably in there. I'll read it.
Sweet.
This one is a 1913 photograph depicting the Dutch Queen Wilhelmina and Princess Juliana in the Netherlands. Wilhelmina was the world's first female billionaire in the U.S., which, yeah, because Madam C.J. Walker was a millionaire, not a billionaire. I was about to correct this picture, but no, okay.
Mm.
And this is great. This next one is a picture of a bunch of women pelting a snowman dressed up as a cop.
Oh, yeah!
It's from 1937.
That's
Just a bunch
great.
of women throwing snowballs at a snowman dressed up as a cop.
Oh my god. I love that. You go, girls.
It says, snowmen were often used as social commentary until they were adopted as a holiday motif. Oh, man. What is... First snowman is just so... It's gonna live in my brain. Okay.
Mhm.
Like forever.
And I'm only gonna be able to see it as peeing.
You're welcome.
Okay, so about
Well,
that first
M
peeing
would say.
snowman.
Except you're welcome.
Okay, so about the peeing snowman. Historian Bob Eckstein, author of History of the Snowman, he says that nobody knows who invented the first snowman, but the book is the Book of Hours from 1380 contains that illustration.
From when?
1380.
1380. Okay. Yeah. I was like, wait, 1880? Hans Christian Andersen.
Hans Christian Andersen's was from 1861.
There you go.
So the Christmas symbol, these Christmas symbols were especially popular during the Middle Ages, when many lacked the proper resources or outlets for artistic expression otherwise. So instead of trying to find traditional art supplies, people would just use snow to make art.
Aww.
And even Michelangelo built a snowman for the ruler of Florence.
Wow. Was it hot? It's Michelangelo.
Probably.
Wait. You know, Michelangelo.
Michelangelo's the one that did the David statue.
Yeah, but who's to say that his snowman skills are going to be the same? Y'all
I
are
say.
assuming way too much.
I'm gonna look for pictures.
Yes, somebody went back in time to take a fucking photo of that. Nice work, Karen.
Wouldn't that be cool, though?
That's okay. Hold on. You've brought me onto my biggest theory, is that aliens are time travelers doing homework, going on field trips.
Christ.
That's my theory. Like,
God.
everyone's always like, oh, aliens, yeah, they're monitoring us, or oh, they're here to destroy us, or something. No, I think they're time travelers from the future, coming to check out things and do homework. Ooh. That's why they always look different, because they're coming from different areas of time.
Bro.
I know that's not how it is, but it's just funny to think about.
Okay, I have stuff about the snowman.
Ooh, give it to me.
Okay, so Michelangelo was only 20 when this happened. So this
Cool.
was a decade before he ever made the David statue, and before he was ever even like a famous Renaissance painter. He was just 20 years old. And the winter had been had been unseasonably cold. And so there was freezing winds and ice all over the place. And then in January, it just like blizzarded everywhere. There was a huge snowstorm. And so Piero de' Medici sent out for him and said, make me a snowman, because he couldn't make one himself, I guess. 'Cause why would rich people do things themselves? So, according to the 15th century art historian Giorgio Vasari, the snowman Michelangelo made was not just a regular snowman, because it's Michelangelo and he's extra.
Love it.
It says it was, quote, possibly the greatest snow sculpture in the history of the world. End
I
quote.
told you. I'm telling you.
Christ.
The New York Times says it was a dry run for his sculpture of David.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I think it's technically a wet run.
That's what all the ladies
A
said.
wet run is
Get
what
it?
you're going to be doing after you think about it too much.
I mean,
So-
snow is a lot easier to bone than stone.
I feel like the
So-
rhyming was intentional there.
So apparently it was some sort of like beautiful man with muscles and stuff. And anybody who saw it said it was very beautiful.
They were like, good God.
My God, man.
Jesus Christ.
He is risen!
Why did nobody paint a portrait of this?
Homophobia.
I'm disappointed.
That's a funny trend that I see on TikTok now. So they're like, they're being homophobic when they're just, being. It just makes me laugh. Kind of like when someone is like, when something very off topic and somebody yells, that's racist. And you're like, wait a minute. It's kind of like that.
So now we know. Okay, eggnog.
Ooh.
I love it.
I didn't start drinking eggnog until a few years ago.
I
I
drink it non-alky.
I don't like eggnog.
My stomach, but then they started coming out with soy eggnog, and I'm like, oh yeah, bitches!
Give me that sweet, eggy treat.
I drink it without alcohol too, because I don't drink in general. But so eggnog doesn't seem like a particularly elite drink, but that's how it got its start. British aristocrats came up with the creamy concoction as a warm winter drink and added brandy and sherry to keep it from spoiling. Because the ingredients were so expensive, only the wealthy could afford to drink it.
Mm.
In the 1700s, it came over to the United States. Colonists were like, I cannot afford these alcohols. So then they started putting rum in it.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, rum was just called grog. So the
Ooh.
bartenders named the drink egg and grog.
Egg
which
grog.
is a hard egg and grog, which is hard to say, and especially if you've already been drinking. So now it's just called eggnog. Because that's how it just gets shortened.
Egg grog.
Yep.
Well, I am agog.
Milk and cookies for Santa. Actually, the tradition hasn't changed very much since medieval Germany.
Medieval Germany.
During Yule, children left out food at night in hopes of getting presents from Odin,
Aww.
and then like other things left out for Sleipnir, the eight-legged horse. The American custom is just started during the Great Depression. Parents used the Christmas symbols of milk and cookies as a way to teach their kids that even when money is tight, they still have to be considerate of others and show gratitude for the blessings in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas carols. When Christmas began replacing pagan winter festivals, bishops across Europe requested certain hymns to be sung at Christmas services. Many composers wanted to write their own Christmas carols, but since they were always in Latin, they weren't popular.
Dummies.
So in 1233, St. Francis of Assisi started putting on nativity plays, which included canticles that told the story of Christ's birth. These were usually in a language that the audience members could understand, so they sang along. And since then, Christmas carols have put listeners into the holiday spirit. So all the songs that you sing that are like about the nativity and stuff came from St. Francis of Assisi, essentially, basically.
Thanks, Francis.
Francis
Francis of Assisi.
of Assisi.
Stockings. So, I don't know, do you guys hang up stockings?
Yeah, I used to. I had stockings for each of my cats.
Oh,
I used to hang up stockings with my folks, but so Josh's grandmother, his grandmother on his mom's side, she made all of their stockings, and so his mom took up the mantle and made me a stocking.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very cute. I'm like, oh. She's like, she would have loved you. She would have really liked you, and she would have made you a stocking. So I'm going to make you a stocking. And I was like, thank you. So, yeah.
Cute.
Yeah. I mean, growing up, we just had the store-bought ones. And then our dogs would get stockings, too. It was great. Very cute.
We have stockings at my grandma's house. They are not handmade. But
No.
everybody has some. My grandma puts, like, glitter glue on them and writes everybody's names.
Aww.
And then we have stockings here. But once the kids are out of the house, we will probably not continue to do stockings.
Yeah.
Because me and Cody don't really buy each other presents much anyway, because we just buy presents when we feel like it.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
that's why it's kind of hard to shop for Josh.
Yeah. So, stockings. According to legend, the real-life St. Nicholas heard about a widower who was worried his 3 daughters would never marry because they were poor, and he found where the family lived and snuck down their chimney. Creepy. He saw the girls' socks drying over the fireplace, filled them with gold, and then disappeared.
That's actually that's creepy, but also kind of cute and sweet. Like, I mean, just give them the gold, in person. But I get it. It's a story. It's just a story anyway. I don't think that actually happened.
I don't know.
I'm gonna break into your house to give you things.
That is Santa in a nutshell.
Yeah, I get why some kids were afraid of him.
He watches when you're sleeping. He sees when you're awake.
I was used to that because I believed in God.
Oh, yeah, God.
Yeah.
So I was like, they probably share a camera or something.
Feels more pervy if the other one is a physical being who is going to physically come into your house at some point.
No, I mean, when I was a kid, I didn't necessarily always believe that he was physically going to be there. Like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I mean, when I was young, I thought he was physical. But as I got older, I was like, there's no scientific way that he could be in every single house in a night. I'm like, there's no way. I mean, he can't get from my house to my friend Bianca's house in Germany. And then come back to, I'm like, it just doesn't make sense. And then my dad showed me one of those radar things where it like mapped out where Santa was. And I was like, oh my God, okay, never mind. I guess he really does. I guess.
I remember being told Santa was dead. And then I was like, you fucking kidding me? And then, at some point, my dad, I was asking about it, my dad pulled me aside, he said, I think you're old enough. Santa's not real. I said, what about the tooth fairy, huh?
Santa's not real. What about NASCAR?
Listen, I was so stoked over the tooth fairy that I would start pulling my teeth out early.
Oh God. It's almost 6:00. Okay, come on.
Poinsettias, the flower.
Mm-hmm.
Why are these such a big Christmas symbol? Well, besides the fact that they are bright red color is linked to the season, the story of the poinsettia begins in the plant's native Mexico, where it's said that some weeds left by a poor girl as an offering to the baby Jesus at a nativity scene turned into the gorgeous flower, of course. A 19th century U.S. ambassador to Mexico, Joel Roberts Poinsett, brought the plants that were later named after him to the United States, which is how poinsettias became the official Christmas flower.
There you go.
So the colors of Christmas, the red poinsettia is the perfect plant for the holiday season. Why red and green? Specifically, green, easy. Evergreen plants and trees have long represented the promise of the coming spring. The evergreen holly includes red berries with its green leaves, which could be linked between the red and green Christmas colors. So, holly and oak and, those things have all been associated with Christmas since, the Druids and other pagans forever. Christianity's just co-opted the imagery and the color scheme on through the years. And in America, in the United States, red has been explained as being associated with Christmas because of Santa because an artist named Hayden Sundblom created Santa Claus in the 20th century for Coke.
For me, I think, as far as I was aware, because they explained these to us as well as children. Red is used in Christmas because of Christ's blood.
New info just dropped.
Yeah, I mean the green is from the tree that was used as the cross.
Oh my god.
And the red was from Christ's blood. I'm like, I don't understand. I thought we were celebrating his birthday.
Christians are so bloody.
I know. I'm like, I don't know. I think like Advent has it right because the Advent candles are purple and pink and white. I'm like, those are cuter.
The red is for blood. Jesus' blood. I thought we were celebrating his birth. Well, there's blood when you're born, kid.
Yeah. blood. I'm like, but then it's Mary's
so
blood.
edgy.
Yeah. No wonder we all turned out emo. All the Christian kids. We're like, blood. You're welcome.
So, anyway. So, Hayden Sundblom created Santa in the 20th century for a Coca-Cola ad and drew him in like a bright red jacket. So, this is why we hold on to red. For secular people, okay. Do you eat fruitcake?
Sometimes.
No.
I like it.
Why don't you eat fruitcakes, Karen?
My dad never liked making them. He's like, it always comes out too dry. He's like, I just don't like it. My dad would make banana bread. Actually, he was making banana bread when I called him the other day. He gives out banana bread to our neighbors.
That's nice.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Well, so fruitcake, I don't like it. It's dense.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like it. Back in the Victorian times, though, fruitcakes were the height of indulgence.
Mm-hmm.
Recipes used dried or preserved fruits and nuts from the fall season that were saved up for a special occasion, like Christmas.
Yep.
But people have been making fruitcakes since the Roman times.
Since the Roman times. Dang.
Yeah. So people have liked fruitcake for a really long time. It's just the Victorians associated them with Christmas.
Yeah.
Candy canes. Now, candy canes are a lot better than fruitcake, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Now, Remy.
Yes.
Why are the stripes on the candy cane red?
It's blood.
It's blood.
Now, I did, back when I used to go to church with my grandma, they did used to hand us out those tiny little candy canes.
Uh-huh.
They would give us the little candy canes with the little cards explaining why candy canes had something to do with Jesus. I don't remember what was on there. I threw the cards away and I would eat the candy cane. So, legend has it that they were first invented by a choir master to keep choir boys occupied during long Christmas services.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they would keep their hands on the cane and not on their own canes.
Wow.
I was gonna say, like, keep their mouths occupied. Same implications.
Wow.
Okay. Yep. Also, there's some talk about them being made in the shape that they're in to symbolize the shepherd's crook, because that has something to do with Jesus. As like everybody's a sheep and Jesus is a shepherd.
Oh, but also the shepherds, that were there for the birth.
That too. And then there's the other thing about how the white of the candy cane is purity and the red is blood.
Yep.
And in the 1920s in the United States, we started mass producing them and they became part of Christmas.
Yep.
We're going to talk about bells and we're going to end on pickles.
Pickles!
Yeah.
So, sleigh bells, church bells, jingle bells, ring-ting-tingling.
Yes.
Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells. Delirious.
Yeah, I feel it.
So, there's no shortage of bells at this time of year. Why are bells Christmas symbols? Their history is symbolic and practical. Bells in pagan and Christian traditions supposedly ward off evil spirits. In addition, church bells are rung to signify an important event such as Christ's birthday. Though he was not born in a church, so there's no bell ringing when he was born, but like they ring the bells in the church now. That's what I mean. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Or to let churchgoers know it's time for service. For jingle bells, they're to warn you a sleigh is coming so you can get out of the way because you do not want to be run over by a bunch of horses in a sleigh.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
Man. And Christmas pickle.
Christmas
pickle.
Pickle. Christmas pickle.
I didn't know I knew what this was. And I don't think that I don't think... Sorry, I was... Look at this gif.
Love it. Laugh it. Bop it.
Twist it.
Okay, now I didn't know that I knew what the Christmas pickle was, but I think I had heard of it before now and forgotten about it. So, if you've ever been to somebody's house and saw a Christmas pickle ornament hanging on somebody's tree, this is just a modern day holiday tradition. If you find it first, you're supposed to get good luck. Why do you two like it so much?
Well, I told a story earlier about my stepmom putting it in the tree, and then
What's not to love about a pickle?
All right. So, some people say that it's a German tradition, and others suggest it comes from the Civil War.
Wasn't it a manufactured tradition?
Probably, just like so many other things. So, some stories say that it comes from the Civil War because some soldiers, I guess, got better after they ate some pickles at Christmas time. Or it could be totally made up and a marketing ploy like so many other things are at this time of year. But it is a fun Christmas game.
What about the story with Santa with superpowers?
Oh gosh, what's it called? The one with Jack Frost.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Santa Claus with superpowers.
I'm talking about his power of resurrection, bro.
Santa Claus?
It has to do with the pickles.
It does?
Yeah! Remy, back me up here.
What?
One of the origin stories for the pickles is, okay, like these three boys got murdered.
What?
And stuffed into a pickle brine barrels. And Santa came and he, brought the boys back to life.
Hold on. I do have that in front of me.
No! You do not!
Yeah!
What the fuck? What is this?
It's Christmas!
Yes, so some people believe that the pickle tradition started when St. Nicholas saved two boys who were trapped inside of a barrel of pickles.
They were murdered, man.
Okay.
It was a murder most foul.
Now, I did look up which one of these was true, but now I'm looking that one up real quick.
I'm pretty sure it was all manufactured by the people who started making the ornaments.
St. Nicholas
then,
resurrects pickled boys.
Exactly. There you go.
Alright. Hi, Sonny.
Yep. Tradition has it that an evil shopkeeper in the town of Mira hated children. He kidnapped 3 small boys. Oh, this story says 3, not 2. Chopped them up.
That, you see?
Chopped them up with an axe and pickled them in a barrel. St. Nicholas, upon hearing of this horror, prayed fervently to God, and because of his purity of faith, the boys were raised to life and wholeness again, and came out of the pickle barrel singing Alleluia and giving thanks to God.
Yep, that's the one that I know.
Pickle.
Pickles, bro.
For several years at Christmas time, Godiva Chocolate produced a large, solid chocolate St. Nicholas figure, which had at its feet 3 boys in a pickle barrel.
Godiva, I think maybe don't. Why did you put them back in the barrel?
They're like,
It seemed appropriate at the time.
it seemed funny. It's a little funny.
Wow. So, the historical evidence just supports the theory that the tradition was fabricated by salesmen during the 1800s to promote German glass ornaments in American stores.
You're welcome. I told you that I liked the pickle.
You did.
So, there's a whole bunch of origins of a whole bunch of things that we do here at Christmas time.
Well, guys, thanks for joining us to learn about Christmas traditions. And we're going to be wrapping up this year really soon, and we're wanting to hear more questions from listeners. So, what you can do to give us your question is you can email us at whywouldyouskthatpod@gmail.com, or you could go to our website and fill out a form there at whywouldyouskthat.com. So, we will prioritize listener questions. Number one, I don't care what we're talking about next week. History of caterpillar feet? Fuck it. Somebody asked about where did tissues come from. We want to know.
Oh my god, where did tissues come from?
I don't know.
Someone asked that.
Does it count if I just said it, though? Whatever. If somebody sends it in, we'll answer it. But anyway, we hope you guys enjoy your holiday week. What comes after?
New Year's.
Yeah. Holy shit, the next Saturday is literally New Year's Eve. So, the next time y'all hear us, it'll be New Year's Eve, and we'll have some random shit for you.
It's gonna be great.
It will be great. You better fucking believe it.
Okay.
Good night!